everybody, welcome back to America TV. Back again with me, Fifi. I want to welcome all of our audience and members joining us online today. I hope you guys are doing well and, of course, staying safe during this pandemic of COVID-19. And for those of you guys who are joining for the first time, America is the U.S. Embassy American Center here in Jakarta, and our mission is to provide a space for young Indonesians to learn more about the United States. And yes, we're temporarily moved to a solid digital platform, but don't worry, you can still enjoy us from the comfort of your own home. iBT Part 1 out of 3. And before I start the event, I'd like to break the ice with a little game. So I already have the question for today's event. And the question is, true or false, the TOEFL iBT test is administered in more than 130 countries. So you guys can answer the question by drop your answer at the chat box session for those of you who are joining through Zoom. And for those of you guys who are joining through our social media platform, just drop your answer or maybe your question for the Q&A section at the comment box section. All right, and I think that's it for me. Don't forget to take a selfie during the event and take at America's Instagram account. And now I'd like to pass it to our moderator for today. Please welcome Santika Salim from America Advisor Education USA.
Thank you, Fifi. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for your precious Saturday. So this is another Education USA event, and this one is a series. We had IELTS last month, so this month we decided to make TOEFL iBT to make you have more knowledge about English proficiency test, so that you have more than one option and decide which one is the best for you. Because that's what Education USA is all about, right? We are about your interest, the students' best interest, not what we think best for you, but what you think best for you, and you decide yourself. So I'll tell you a bit more about Education USA, but before that, I want to let you know, my name is Santika. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. And I really am happy with this digital platform because we can reach a lot of people outside of Jakarta, outside of this whole Indonesia, or even not in Indonesia, like out of Indonesia. So yeah, my name is Santika. I'm one of the Education US advisors. So at America, Jakarta, we have this Education USA. We have two advisors, Fina and me. So I'll do a bit introduction on that, so you will know what we can do for you. Okay, so Education USA is a department state of network. We are a U.S. Department of State network over 400 international student advising center in 170 countries or more. So you can imagine that we are all around the world, and we are official. Kita kayak menteri luar negerinya si Amerika. So our network promote the U.S. higher education, so that all students can get the most accurate information. And this is how we guide everyone who came to us. And this is like our service. So there are 5 steps. The first one is you research your options on what kind of program you want, what kind of university that you want to apply. Maybe you have dream university you want to go, mungkin kayak dari kamu kecil kamu mau attend this university. So it's time to make it come true. And the second step is financing your studies. If you are looking for any scholarship opportunities that you don't know where to start looking, we can give you the information, and you can go ahead and do your research and come back to us if you have any question. And the step 3 is completing your application. So this is like the big part of our service. Basically, this is like the university application itself. You will need a few documents that you need to complete. So that could be essay, letter of recommendation, TOEFL iBT or IELTS, which this whole thing is the step 3. And you can also ask us about CV or resume and all of the things that you need to submit. Basically, all of the requirements. If you have any questions, we can guide you on letting you know on help you answer your question. And aside from that, in this step 3, the most seek service from our advisees is the essay review and the CV or resume review. So if you write your essay, personal statement of purpose, you're not sure if you are doing good, is good enough, then you can just hit us an email and send it to us and ask for Fina or me to Hi, Sandika or Fina, can you like help me review my essay or CV or resume? We will just, schedule you and then we have one-on-one Zoom that I will announce later on after that. So the step 4 is applying for your student visa. So this is when you are already accepted to any of the university in the United States. We have the step-by-step on how you can apply for your visa, so you don't have to worry too much on that. Of course, currently it's still closed, and we're hoping that it will be open really soon, so that students that should have been going to US will be able to, apply for their visa and go for the next quarter or semester. And the 5th one is preparing your departure. So this is where we do once a year annual event. We call it pre-departure orientation. We make it fun. We invite officials from the embassy, alumni, and then there's a presentation on what you should do, or like tips on how to pack first time to US, what you expect your first week like, and everything like that. So it's just a fun thing that we do so that all of the students who got accepted on that year that got invited can network. And since all of our event is open for public, so I'm imagining if you are still considering to apply, you can come in and then try to network with maybe people who are already accepted to the schools that you want to apply. So that's that. And I want to let you know that all of the services are free, including all of the events that we make online or later on when we back on site. Okay, so these are the centers. In Indonesia, we have 8 and total of 10 advisors. As you can see, we have 2 in Jakarta. One is in the US Embassy. There are David and Iqbal as the advisors. And in America, as I've mentioned, there's Pina and me. And we have also 2 centers in Surabaya. They are in the US Consulate General. We have Husky there, and then Universitas Airlangga Unair, we have Ambar. And we have one in Medan in the US Consulate. We have one in Malang in Universitas Muhammadiyah. And we have one in Makassar in Universitas Fajar. And last but not least, we are also in Banda Aceh, Universitas Islam Negeri UIN Araniri. So if you know anyone who wants to study to US but they don't know where to start, they want to, but they don't know how to start and where to ask these questions, you can refer them to Education USA, and we will just choose the closest one to you. You don't have to even choose something that if you live in the city that we don't have a center there, then feel free to reach out to the closest one. Okay, since everything is free anyway, you don't want to miss this. All right, so this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying that we all move to digital. So usually when America is open for public, people just come in and seek Fina or me for advising session. But now that we are doing online, we do it through Zoom, and we are available every day. So on the top left, you can see emails. That's Fina's and my email. You can reach us out if you feel like you don't want to go to Zoom directly because maybe you're shy, or you think oh, this is just one small question. So hit us up through email there. And the advising hours is, like I said, every day from 1 until 9. So what happened is I will do 1 until 5, and Fina will do 5 until 9 p.m. So if you come in and during the hours that's mine, then you'll meet me, and vice versa. And that's the Zoom ID. If you are interested, join us. The ID is 276-124-396. You can just screenshot this thing and then come back later when you need us. Okay, so you can also email us at jakarta.america@educationusa.org. If you don't know, who you want to contact, like Fina or me, you're confused, just do the center one, the jakarta.america@educationusa.org. And okay, so we are moving to the next event that I want you to know because I find this very, very important. This is the Building Strong CV or Resume and Letter of Recommendations for US Graduate School Applications. So I know that it says graduate here, but since we have more undergrad students, especially for iBT, because it's also a requirement for undergrad applicants, feel free to come into this one if you need to write a CV or you have questions about letter of recommendations. Open for everyone, actually. So it will be on Thursday, October 8th, 6:30 until 8. It's still digital, so you just register as usual from the website, okay? This is a monthly event, by the way, so you can attend as much as you want. We have it every month. And this one is just to let you know that don't forget that this TOEFL is a series of 3 parts. So today, October 3rd and 10th, which is next Saturday, and then 17th. So the time is the same, 2 until 4 p.m. And we will also have the same facilitator that I will invite later on. Okay, so this one is also a monthly event. It's how to write a statement of purpose or personal essay. October 15th, 6:30 until 8:30. I'm sure you don't want to miss this, especially that the deadline for the U.S. university application is really close these days. Like it's the end of the year or the early 2021 or the fall 2021 enrollment. So if you are, planning to apply for next year and you're writing your essays, this is what you want to attend. Okay. Okay, and you can check all of the events from these two websites, educationusa.state.gov or at america.org.id/educationusa. /educationusa is actually like if you go to @america.org.id, there's like a separate tab of Education USA. That's where it is. Okay. All right, so that's from me, and I hope that this TOEFL iBT series will be very helpful for you. I want to let you know that this is only 3 parts. Okay, in the past we had 12 sessions, and I think if you attend this whole 3 parts from Ibu Hafil, and you feel like you need more, and the 12 sessions in the past is also by Ibu Hafil. That's why we have her again, because she is so amazing. And if you need, after these 3 sessions and you need the 12 sessions, like I have all of the links of the video in the past, the 12 course, the prep course for 12 sessions, you can just email me. I'll give it to you, but I want you to attend all of these 3 parts first so that it feels like it's a reward to you. Okay? All right. Before I talk too much, I'll just invite today's facilitator, Ibu Hafilia. Hi, Ibu
Hi.
Hafil.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. And I hope everyone is feeling okay.
Yes. Thank you so much
Yes.
for having us again. This is what, the 3rd time that you are here, or 4th time?
You're most welcome. And we were just talking for everyone who's here who are new, right? Who haven't joined our sessions before. I think the second session we started offline and then we ended online.
Yeah.
And now we're starting again online. Okay,
Yes,
we're still online.
Yeah, so this one is an introduction, Bu. Yeah, instead of like the past, we had the full 12 session. Jadi I'm hoping that everyone here, whether first time atau kayak udah pernah yang sebelumnya yang 12 kali, if they feel like this introductory helped them so much, I want them to come to me to ask for the 12 sessions because I already prepare all of the links. Jadi kayak hadiah gitu ya, Bu ya.
Iya.
Okay, take it away, Bu.
Thank you, Santika. Hi, everybody. Okay, now, again, we will not be talking in depth, all right? Meaning that we will not be talking in so much details because this is just an intro, and everything you need actually about the TOEFL iBT is available. Yeah, I'll be guiding you through what you're going to do when you take the TOEFL iBT and where you can find further information about the test itself. Okay, now, does anyone know? So I'm just going to ask a quick question, all right, and you can answer me on the chat box. I'm keeping on my eye on the chat box. Does anyone know what the iBT stands for? It used to be that we have the TOEFL, right? So why now we have this little I here, the iBT? Anyone? Can anyone just write down? Okay, good. Thank you, Dahana. Thank you, Dani. Thank you. All right. It's internet-based testing. Yeah. So actually, this internet-based testing, all right, has been rolled out a couple of years ago. So it's not just to go online, but actually, the makers of ETS, Educational Testing Service, they have already made it online to make it available, okay, for every one of us who are who cannot do the paper base. Yeah. All right. Now, so this session 1, as Santika already mentioned, I'm just going to give one tool. Well, please remember the TOEFL test gives test takers, that means those of you who are planning to take the TOEFL, the opportunity to
All right, Bu Hafil seems to have some difficulties, so I just want to brief you guys a bit. If you have questions,
I'm back.
don't be shy. Oh yeah, hi Bu Hafil, you're back.
Sorry.
Okay, I'll just give like a bit on how people can ask questions to
Sure.
you. So if you're watching from Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all of our social media platforms, if you have questions, just send them in the comment box, and our team will pass it to me, and we will have a Q&A later on, so you can have your answers, a chance that your question will be answered. If you're in Zoom, use the chat box, send your questions there, and if it's related to Education USA or anything that I can answer, I'll answer that. Okay, so I'll just be here. So talk and okay, have fun. Back to
Okay,
you.
shall
Bukowil.
I
Yes.
shall I continue now? Yeah. I think you lost me when we were explaining about this, right? So, because why do I need to explain this again? Because this will, of course, influence the type of questions, all right, that's on the TOEFL, right? What we would like to know, why do you have to take the TOEFL? Well, we want to make sure that you're going to survive the university life there. Yeah. Okay. We don't just want you to get in, but we also need you to get out, meaning you have to graduate, right? And how will you be able to perform well? That is by carrying out, all right, the language, okay, by using the language, of course, in real life English, in university lectures, which you will find in lectures, of course, you will find in your classes. And those of you who are studying a major that involves laboratories, of course. And it is also the same language that professors use when they discuss coursework or concept with their students. So it is the language students use in study groups, in everyday university situations. Okay, it's not just the academic language, meaning that reading textbooks. Yes, of course, you read textbooks, but it also contains a lot of situations in which language is used, okay, in campus life. So I'm just going to give you an idea. So why we call it is valid? Why do we say it's valid? Number one, all right, because in college you will be doing a lot of reading. Textbooks, you're going to read journals, papers, and you'll be, of course, listening to lectures, okay, listening to talks, listening to presentations, right? And of course, you will also be giving your opinion, okay? Professors will ask you to make your presentation, to make an argument on why you agree, disagree, oppose on something, all right? And last but not least, you have to do your papers, your essays. Starting semester 1, you've got to make essays. So considering all this, because you will need to do this once you get into a university, of course, then the TOEFL test, all right? The TOEFL test, of course, then measures all those skills. It measures the skills of speaking, writing, listening, and reading. Those of you who are still acquainted, right, who are still familiar with the old test, which is the paper-based test, right? I think in my time, I knew about the paper-based test, and it was like more on reading, listening, and then we had structure or grammar. And now the skills, if you see, it's not just listening and reading, but we also have the productive skills, which is speaking and writing. Now, all these skills, all right, all these skills are needed. Why? Because you're going to have to use this in an academic setting, academic context, as well as campus life, right? The scores, all right. No, so I'm just going to, okay. What's the score for the TOEFL IBT? If I can see the chat box again. What's the score for the TOEFL iBT? Anyone? It's 100. Okay. Yeah. TOEFL iBT score is now, it doesn't have like, what is that? It's not 500, 600, but it's a total of 120. And where do you think the 120 comes from? The 120 comes from, of course, 4 times 30, which means you have a scale score of 30 for your reading, a scale score of 30 for your listening, a scale score of 30 for your writing, and a scale score of 30 for your speaking, which totals to 120. All right. Now, maybe some of you are already acquainted, but I need to give you updates. All right. I need to give you updates on what's going on with the TOEFL. All right. So this was implemented in 2019, okay, in August, all right. ETS started to have what we call my best scores, AKA, okay, here it is, AKA, yeah. Sometimes I hear my daughters say, AKA, and I was saying, are you sure you know what AKA means? All right, so AKA as super scores. So that's one update that I need to update all of you. Number 2, now the test is shorter, right? The test is shorter with the objective, okay? The objective is that we want to lessen your fatigue. Now, this is your vocabulary. What does fatigue means? The test usually takes about 3 hours, all right? Okay, and now it's cut down to about 2.5 hours, all right? So that means you will be doing the test, completing everything in 2.5 hours. And because of that, we feel that you could improve, okay, on and focus more on what you're doing. And of course, you will have a better performance, right? So the test is shorter in terms of the time, okay? And it's easier registration, yeah? But with all this said, I would just like to cover one update, which is my best score. What does it mean? It means that, for example, if you are taking the TOEFL IBT, all right, for more than one time, you know, I have students who have to take like 2 times sometimes. Why? Because the requirements of the university of their choice, right, is a, say, 80, overall score of 80, but then they didn't make it for the first time. And so they had to retake, they sit in again for the second time. What's happening now is the policy by ETS that if you take the first TOEFL, yeah, let's say on date 1, and then you take another TOEFL test, you retake the test on date 2, okay? Remember that the validity of the test is actually right within 2 years' time. Yeah, so if it is within the validity period, and if supposedly, remember, 120 is the score, the highest score, where does that come from? It comes from 30 times the 4 skills, right? So let's say my student, okay, A, for example, student A, when he took the TOEFL the first time, he got 20 on his reading, 22 on his listening, 17 on his speaking, and writing 17 also. And he had to take it because his total score at that time for the first test was still 76. He had to, okay, he had to get an 80 to be able to be eligible, right, for the university. And so he had to retake the test. Now this time, the second time, he got a 19 for the reading, which is, of course, a lower score than the first one. He got a 20 for the listening, lower score than the first one, but he did do much better on his speaking and his writing. So if you see the total, it's still 78, right? And if we only base the final score on a 76 and a 78, it means that my student A would not be still able to enroll, right? Would not be accepted in the university. But because of the new policy, and this is by ETS, ETS has said, the makers of the test said, take the best scores. You can take the best scores, right? Super scores, we call it. So take the best score for the reading and listening. This is the two highest, of course. And take also this one, which is the two highest for the second test, which means that your best score is, of course, an 81. All right? Okay. And which means that my student A should be able to enroll now. Yeah? Okay. Now, is this, do all university accept my best score or not? That still needs to be, you still need to ask, right? Please ask the admission officers in the university of your choice whether they accept my best scores or not, okay? But this comes out, the policy comes out from the makers of the test. So what we're saying is that super scores is a combination of the highest section from all valid test dates. The validity of a TOEFL IBT is 2 years, so that means within the period of 2 years, yeah? Okay. Okay, and this started already since last year, August 1st, 2019. I think at that time I was also doing a course in America, and they were still doing the transition. Okay, and now it's already implemented. So this is how it's going to look. Every time you take the TOEFL IBT, you're going to get this, all right? And if you take it the second time, because your name and everything, your data has been stored in their system, they will automatically have 2 scores available. All right, in your score reports. Okay. And if you're asking me, again, so what should what should my score be if I want to go to certain universities? Please consult the international students admission officers of the university that you want to enroll in. And as Santika and Fina has repeatedly said, please consult the advisors of Education USA. I think in the chat box, Fina and Santika already also said when they are available, right? They may be able to help you about this best score. And you can also regularly check the ets.org. All right, so ets.org is the website that you are going to go check all the time, regularly, all right, from time to time. Okay, now this is how the ETS website looks like. If you go into ets.org, right here, you're going to find the home page, right? And because they make lots of tests, not just the TOEFL. Any of you going on for your master's degree, sometimes some universities also ask for the GRE, yeah? Now anyway, then go to the TOEFL, yeah, go to that particular section of the website, and that's where you will find all information about the TOEFL, okay? You will also be able to find, all right, remember that when you go there, you are a test taker, so don't forget to click the button here. You can see my button here, right? Click the button here for test takers, and that will take you, of course, to a page that tells you about everything you want to know about the test. Now, the second update, of course, with the pandemic, ETS has launched the special home edition. What does it mean? It means that you can take it from your home. Okay, even though it's internet based, you usually have to come to a test center. All right, you come to a test center where everything is supervised and you do the test in the test center. Since the pandemic, with social distancing rules, okay, they have launched the TOEFL iBT Special Home Edition. Again, if you want to know more about it, I'm not going to talk about the details. If you want to know more about it, please go to ets.org and just browse around and you'll find more about the Special Home Edition. That's the second update, okay? You may be asking questions, are centers open in Indonesia? And if you want to check, go check. It's there. You have all the centers that's open in Indonesia, okay? The centers that are open in Malang, the centers that are open in Surabaya, the centers that are open in Jakarta and other parts of Indonesia. Go check. Some centers are still now reopening. Yeah, they are reopening. That means, yes, you can take the test, okay, in the center, but of course, with physical distancing and so on, the capacity will probably be only half of what it used to be. So check. Are centers open? Some are open, but please check the website again, specifically for the area of the Asia Pacific. Yeah? Okay, now, okay, so those are just the updates. So now I'm just going to talk about what you should do to acquaint yourself, to prepare yourself, okay, for the IBT. Please remember that it's like a war when you're going to sit on a test. Yes, sit in a test. It's like you have to have ammunition, which is your skills. Yeah. And you also have to have some strategies on how to answer, okay, on how to answer test questions. So we always say that there is a balance between ammunition and strategy. Doing well on your TOEFL or in any other test for that matter cannot be only strategies. It cannot be bimbel. Gak bisa hanya ikut bimbingan belajar. Bisa, tapi berarti kalian sudah mempunyai amunisi yang cukup. Sekarang belajar nembak. Gitu kan? Nah, buat apa kita belajar nembak kalau kita nggak punya peluru? Atau kita tidak punya senjatanya bahkan. Okay? I hope you understand my analogy on ammunition and strategy. All right. So if you have both, if you have the strategy and you have the ammunition, okay, you will be able then to, of course, accurately select the answer, the correct answer, and get the scores that, of course, puts you in an advanced level. Meaning, the bigger the opportunity that you will be able to get to the college, enroll in the college of your dreams, of your choice. All right? Now, we're talking about session 1, which is the reading and listening, because this is just an intro to get a big picture and to have a taste, ya, kita icip-icip kayak apa sih si TOEFL IBT itu. Okay, so I have decided for the first session to put together, okay, kita kombinasi, let us combine the reading and the listening. And I'm just reminding you, tadi Santika juga sudah ingatkan, right, that the speaking and the writing will come up for the next sessions. For the speaking, ini yang paling seru atau yang kalau saya sih ngeliatnya seru ya gitu, kayaknya seru deh sekarang ngambil tes IBT itu nggak ngantuk-ngantuk gitu, nggak mungkin ngantuk soalnya gitu kan. Jadi speaking itu yang the two skills which is now like, sekarang ada speakingnya, ada writingnya. Writing kita nulis beneran gitu kan. Speaking kita bicara betul, bicara, alright. Nah, I think the most exciting part of the speaking and the writing is or are the integrated skills. Skillsnya itu sekarang terintegrasi, ya. So stay tune for next week. Gitu. Kalau mau tahu lebih lanjut, silahkan join us next week. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the reading and listening first. Ya, reading sama listening itu dari dulu-dulu juga pasti sama lah ya, nggak jauh-jauh beda gitu. Pasti ada basic comprehension, ada kita juga learning to learn, ada making inferences. Okay. You will find, okay, or you will get when you take the TOEFL reading section itu 3 to 4 passages. Ya, bisa 3, bisa 4. Setiap passage itu kurang lebih 700 words long. Seberapa panjang ya 700 kata itu, nanti you will be able to see it. Dan jangan heboh dulu dengan 700 gitu kan, udah pas. Untung gak 1000 kan gitu kan ya. Kan kita orang Indonesia untung terus, right? Kalau orang Jawa tuh untung terus. Oke, 700 words long. And of course, because it's a reading comprehension, of course, they will ask you questions. Okay, they will ask you questions based on each text. Remember, you have 3 texts, 700 words long, and you will be asked 3 to 4, yeah, 700 words long, and you will be asked 10 questions from each of the text or the passage. Now, depending on the difficulty level of the questions, some questions or most questions are worth 1 point. Bobot, ini bobot. Dia dapat, kalau betul ya dapat 1. Okay, but there are questions that are worth more than 1 point. Artinya apa? Ya artinya bisa dapat 2 gitu. Okay, we'll take a look at what kind of questions those are. But they will tell you, jadi nggak usah bingung yang mana yang 1, yang mana yang 2. It will tell you in the passage, in the question, it will tell you. You have to answer 2 atau 3. Ini biasanya opsi bukan berarti 1 yang dipilih, tapi bisa ada 2 opsi. Jadi bisa ada A atau B yang B yang benar atau C D yang betul. Okay? So it will tell you, akan dikasih tahu bahwa ini kamu harus bisa menjawab 2 minimal untuk dapat poin. Karena kalau kamu tidak menjawab 2 berarti ya, dan benar, berarti kamu nggak dapat poin. Oke? Oke. So, this is amunisi. Ya, ini pelurunya nih, pelurunya. Kan mau nggak mau balik lagi. Oke. Balik lagi ke bahasa Inggris gitu kan. Balik lagi, kayaknya kita udah pernah belajar ini deh dari zaman SMA mungkin, bahkan if most of you have already graduated, kalau ada di sini yang sudah graduate college juga, kita juga belajar ini kok di bahasa Inggris college ya, and you want to go for your master's degree. So basically in the reading section yang diujikan atau yang diukur, saya selalu melihat tes itu sebagai ukuran gitu kan, timbangan. Yang diukur apa? In the reading comprehension, ada reading to learn. Jadi in the reading ada comprehension, ada reading to learn, ada inference. Ini klasifikasi besarnya. Oke, in the listening, you have, ada comprehension juga, ada connecting information questions, dan ada pragmatic understanding. Jadi ini semua adalah yang kita sebut, yang kita katakan tadi, this is the ammunition, your ammunition. Nah, coba. Sekarang kayaknya kita mau main-main sedikit abis ini, ya. So I need you to grab your smartphone. Kayaknya semua udah punya smartphone ya. Masih ada yang nggak punya smartphone gitu, yang phone-nya nggak smart. Kayaknya udah pada smart semua phone-nya kan. Grab your smartphone. Seriously, grab your smartphone. Alright? Because I need you to practice. Okay? Grab your smartphone. And this is what I want you to do. Go to www.menti.com. silahkan masuk ke www.menti.com. Oke. Saya tunggu, tenang aja. Alright. Go to www.menti.com. Sudah masuk? Dah? Okay. So if those of you are already in that, then you have the code. Please enter the code 7566244. You see that, yeah? Okay? Udah. Terus silahkan disubmit. Nah, kalau memang nggak masuk, biasanya suka ribut. Nggak bisa, Miss, ini susah ini. Ya udah, nggak usah ikutan di Menti. Tetap bisa ikutan menjawab di chat box. Oke, jadi jangan ribet dengan teknologi tidak berjalan. Ya sudah, kita masih ada chat box kan? Oke. Nah, jadi kalau ke menti.com, sebentar ya, nanti saya akan present sesuatu. Oke, nah, udah mulai ya? Udah mulai ada yang jawab nih. Oke, baru 9 orang yang jawab. Yang lain kemana ya? Halo? Halo? Ayo? Jangan tidur. Katanya mau sekolah di luar negeri. Ayo jangan tidur. Okay, 20 people. Sir, can you see my screen now? Santika, hello.
Yeah, Bu. Yes, I can see.
The screen is the graphic, right?
Yes, that's right.
Sip.
Ada biru, pink, and red. Okay.
Ini udah pada pertanyaannya udah baca belum ya? Anak-anak suka gitu. Mereka sudah bisa menjawab tanpa melihat pertanyaan. Kadang-kadang. Oke, ini. Lihat dulu pertanyaannya. According to the paragraph. Biasanya di soal benarnya according to paragraph 1, according to paragraph 2 atau whatever. Which of the following is not true? Nah, ini jenis pertanyaan ini tadi kan kita punya list tuh. We had a list, right, of all the questions, types of questions. Nah, if you have this kind of question, ini yang mana sih? Yang fact question, maksudnya asking for facts or asking for negative facts, or is it a vocabulary question? Masih 81, saya tunggu deh 10 detik. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, okay everybody, stop. Pas di 90 tuh. From 90 people, okay, ini the winnernya the pink one ya. Masih ada yang penasaran, 92. Okay. So but I can see that most of you, right, answered this is a negative fact question. Kenapa jawabnya yang menjawab negative fact question? Why did you answer negative fact question? Can you tell me? Santika bisa tolong lihat chat box-nya nggak? Ada yang jawab nggak, Santika?
Oke, Bu, checking. Chat box nggak ada nih. Ayo,
ada. Siapa? Kenapa namanya negative fact question gitu? Kok bisa jawab negative fact question padahal?
Oh, ada nih, Bu.
Yes.
Sarah sama Cory.
Okay, what did they say? Why?
Sarah said because the question want us to find the incorrect fact. Cory, negative fact question.
Karena, okay.
Because it's so tricky, Helen.
Okay, yeah. So, because the question is, which of the following is not true? Artinya, you are looking for the answer which is not true. Kita cari jawaban opsi yang salah. Bukan yang benar ya. Oke, good. Mari kita lihat itu betul atau tidak betul jawabnya. Right? Okay. Now, so the answer is yes. The answer is yes. negative fact question. Keyword in the question. To be able to why do I bring you here? Because in the reading, to be able to understand, to be able to answer, you have to understand the question. Jangan sampai kalian juga bingung, ini pertanyaannya apa sih sebenarnya? Okay, so this is the keyword, not true. Okay, saya mau lihat lagi dong Santika yang pada di chat box ya. Kenapa aku nggak bisa lihat chat box ya Santika? Where should I see the chat? Oh, here it is. Hold on. Okay. Can you now tell me what is the synonym? If we don't use not true, what other word can be used? Incorrect? False? Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. Yes, thank you, Risa, Arina. Sorry. No, Daniel and Risa. Biasanya kita mengatakan except. So these are the two words. These are the two keywords that you will see in the question, which means you have to find what is not stated in the text. Yeah. So it's usually not true or it's usually except. Okay, thank you guys. Great. All right, let me move on then. Mari kita maju. Bisakah maju? Apa ya? Okay, I think I have. Nah, okay. Coba saya mau mundur dulu. Okay. Here we go. Yang ini, the second question is, why does the author mention blah blah blah? Itu. Yang di-mention is in the, of course, in the text. Okay. Jadi jawabnya, kok belum ada yang jawab? Halo?
Ayo, malu-malu nih ya.
Udah ada 42 tapi kenapa belum ada ya di saya?
49, 50 di aku juga belum keluar, Bu.
Oh, belum keluar ya? Ada apa ya?
Refresh.
Kelihatannya saya harus refresh. Bentar ya, Santika. Let me just stop sharing first. Okay, and let me go back. Alright, let me just refresh. Okay, it's here. Saya belum share lagi kan ya, so that means I have to share, right?
Yes, that's right, Bu.
Hold on a minute. Here we go. Good. Ada 84 yang sudah jawab. Right. Okay. 88. Kita stop di 90 ya. Tunggu satu lagi. One more person. No? Okay. So, from 90 people, right? From 90 people who are attending this Zoom, atau ini bisa juga dari yang mana-mana, mungkin yang tidak lihat di Zoom juga bisa tidak bersama kami di sini, tetapi melihat di live streaming, they can participate, of course, by just going into their menti.com, right? And when you see a question di sini, why does the author mention? It's the question why, okay? Purpose. Why the author mention something XXX in the text? That is an example. Okay, you are looking for, this is what we call a rhetorical purpose question. You're looking for why did he say that, or why did the author write that? Okay, purpose. Yeah, because we all know that people use, okay, nanti kita jelasin ya. people use rhetorical devices to nanti. Okay, anyway, we'll stop here and we'll continue with another the other question. Yang ini saya harus refresh lagi nggak ya? The word XXX, ini pertanyaannya. The word XXS is closest in meaning to... Tunggu. Bukan itu. Wait. Okay. This type of question is when you have a question which says the word bla bla bla, bli bli bli, xxx is closest in meaning to. Berarti ini menanyakan apa? Halo? Menanyakan apa? Menanyakan synonym. Good. Menanyakan iya. This is a vocabulary question, is it? Kenapa ada nomornya ya keluar? Sudah mulai capek jam 2.53. Okay. Itu ada. This is a vocabulary question. Okay. So you're looking for synonyms. Okay. Mungkin you're looking for something that is similar to XXX. Iya. Saya masih bingung kenapa ada nomor keluar. Okay. Yeah. Alright. So we have 61. Here are everybody's answer. Alright. Everybody's answer. Okay, great. So I think a lot of you are answering vocab, synonym, similar words. Okay, vocabulary. Okay, great. Okay, guys, we can stop now. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop in just 5 seconds. So everybody, if you have not yet joined, berhenti saja karena we will go on. Ini just a practice, latihan bagi kalian. Okay, now, so good. You have to basically, what I'm asking you to do is look at the question and understand what it means. Understand what the question is asking you to do, right? Okay. By the way, if you want to know what rhetorical means, rhetoric means rhetoric. I think the way they say it is rhetoric. So rhetoric is the art of effective or persuasive speaking or writing, especially the use of figures of speech and other compositional techniques. Figures of speech. Alright, figures of speech means it's not what you really mean, tapi dia tidak bisa diartikan secara harfiahnya, ya. Kita tadi pagi ada raining cats and dogs gitu kan, yang emangnya ada kucing dan anjing turun dari langit? No, itu adalah an idiomatic expression, but we use that raining. It's raining like cats and dogs, gitu, because it's very heavy rain. So what is rhetoric? Rhetoric is the study and art of writing and speaking persuasively. A lot of authors, when they write things, a lot of speakers, when they speak, okay? And the aim is, of course, when they want to inform, when they want to educate, and especially when they want to persuade, they will use, specific words. That's what we call rhetoric. Okay? Jadi, you will be asked, why did he use these words? For example. Nah, ini latihannya. Oh, ini cuma satu paragraph, gitu kan. Tadi kan mau tahu ya, itu paragraph kalau 700, kalau misalnya passage gitu, 700 itu seberapa ya? Mari kita lihat. I'm going now to the ETS website. And I'm going to show you. What are you seeing? Hello? San?
Ya, Ibu.
Are you seeing something?
We are seeing the ets.org website.
And you are seeing the reading practice sets?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so everyone,
Yes,
this is,
TOEFL.
yep. Okay, so this is a 700 word passage. Itu kurang lebih seperti ini. Yeah, okay. So we have, and usually it is marked. We have like paragraph 1, this is paragraph 2, this is paragraph 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, if you go to the website, ini adalah versi PDF atau versi papernya. Okay. You can of course practice from this. Nanti kita practice sedikit. Nah, ini keluar nih. Except gitu kan, udah tahu, berarti you are looking for any of these choices which are not, yang tidak di state in paragraph 1. Gak enaknya zaman dulu itu waktu kita ngambil TOEFL paper base, kita mondar mandir. Okay, I remember that when jawabannya ada di ujung mana, right? Enaknya, thank you to technology. Nah, ini tetap ada practice set for you to practice if you have problems with your internet connection, pulsa gitu kan ya. Mungkin bukan internet connection, pulsa. Nah, urusan pulsa, jadi you can download this and study it. But if you want to have a taste, wait. Sekarang saya ganti. Udah ganti belum ya di situ ya? Atau apa saya harus stop share lagi ya, San?
Bu, what do you want the screen to look like? Ini kita lagi di ancient Rome and Greece.
Betul sekali. Okay, that's what I want the screen to look like. So when yeah, good, great. Okay, now kalau what you do is there is on the website itu ada. Mari kita lihat bareng-bareng nih, saya mundur. Jadinya saya mundur deh. Oke. Nah, ya. On the website, kalian cari sendiri ya. Kan you are millennials, right? Jadi kalau millennial itu kayaknya udah tinggal klik sampai gitu. Nah, you cari sendiri di mana you will find launch the TOEFL iBT practice test. This is different than the ones that I showed you. Different dalam hal medianya. Kalau tadi the media is paper based, you can download untuk menghemat pulsa. Nah, ini sekarang is giving you an experience on how it will look like the iBT if you are doing the test. Okay, if you're doing the real test. Jadi tinggal kita launch, silahkan kita launch. Okay, nah, right. So we just have to click. This is basically kurang lebih what you will be facing when you are doing the real iBT gitu. For the reading, ini reading, ada bla 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 bla. Okay, this is the general information, right? And then ini reading section general directions-nya. Okay, as I said, most questions in the reading are worth 1 point, but the last question in each of the reading passage is worth more than 1 point. Directions indicate how many points you can receive. Begitu kurang lebih. Ya, in the actual test itu biasanya ada 10, kadang-kadang 9. But what you need to remember is that you will have 54 minutes to read the passages and answer the questions. Artinya apa? Mohon dihitung sendiri. 54 menit, 30 pertanyaan. Kalau 3 passage, jadi 1 pertanyaan itu kurang lebih kita punya waktu berapa menit. That's how you practice. Tentunya there are questions that are more difficult than the others. So make sure that when it's an easy question, you do it quickly and continue to the next question so that you will have time Yeah, when you get to the difficult questions. So this is how it's going to look like. So if you continue again, mari kita continue lagi. Nah, so you have the text on the right side and you have the question on the left. Remember in the beginning I said when we do the paper basic, we were going like shuffling the papers. Now with technology, we have the convenience of, oh, okay, so it's here. This is the question. So all we have to do is look at this. And it tells you, according to paragraph 1, look at the arrow. That means paragraph 1 means this paragraph, right? Okay, and then you just have to click here, click there, right? And it tells you paragraph 1 is marked with an arrow. Click on the oval to select, on the oval here, to select the answer. All right? Okay, we're not going to do it now. We're just going to go next because I need you to, this is the reading. Ini kurang lebih seperti ini nih, ya. This is already paragraph 2. So look at the arrow. It's on paragraph 2. Right? And you have these questions. Okay. Next question. Nah. You see this one? That the word profound in the passage is closest in meaning to, right? Closest in meaning to. So what kind of question is this? Guys, what kind of questions? This is the vocabulary question, closest in meaning to. And what's good about the iBT is because you don't have to read, okay? Because it has been marked profound and it tells you here, in this sentence, in this paragraph. So you can spot it easily. It's more convenient. So we do not waste our time looking for where is the word, but we use our time focus on understanding, looking for keywords. Okay? So, yuk, kayaknya mudah-mudahan bisa deh. Why don't we try to do this? Just this one. Because I think vocabulary is one of the easiest part of the listening. Okay. Can anyone? Yuk kita baca dulu. I will give you like 1 minute to read that paragraph and you can tell me what the synonym, so tadi kan ya, what the synonym is, similar meaning. Okay. Can you tell me? If you don't know the word, then you have to read, find other words in the text, find context, which will give you an idea of what this word means. Now, I'm just going to ask you to look carefully. Has anyone? Oh, everyone has far-reaching. Everyone has said far-reaching. No other, I guess, far-reaching. Okay. Now, are you guessing correctly? Well, why do you think it's far-reaching? Can you tell me? Why is it far-reaching? The technology shift caused profound changes in the complexity of African society. So what kind of change? So you have to read on. Iron represented power. In West Africa, the blacksmith who made tools and weapons had an important place in society. Often with special religious powers and functions, these blacksmith, yeah? Okay. Iron hoes, which made the land more productive, and iron weapons, which made the warrior more powerful, had symbolic meaning in a number of West African societies. Those who knew the secrets of making iron gained ritual and sometimes political power. So, technology shift has caused profound changes. What kind of shifts? Kenapa dia tiba-tiba bilang ada technological shift? Berarti sebelumnya nih membicarakan mengenai sesuatu yang kemudian di paragraf ini ada perubahan. So, do you think it has made a significant change or not from this paragraph? Significant or not? Yeah. It's made some kind of significant change, right? And when it's an important change, it's a significant change, yes, good. You get ritual and political power. And therefore, which of these words has that meaning? Temporary. Is it possible if we say temporary? Significant? No. Jadi kita cross ya. Ini disilahkan di cross out. Nah ini proses eliminasi namanya. Nah ini test taking strategy. Okay. So, no, it's not temporary. Necessary? No, because it's talking about, it's not necessary. It's talking about significant, right? Okay, so we cross out necessary, we cross out temporary, and we have 2 left. From 4, we eliminate 2. Okay, from the 2, fascinating, far-reaching. Okay, why do you think it's far-reaching and not fascinating? These are both very positive words, right? Okay, any idea? Who wants to tell me? Ada yang bisa ngomong nggak ya, San? San, can we unmute somebody?
Hi, Bu. Sure. If anyone wants to, answer verbally, yang mau, yang interested, bilang di chat box ya. Nanti kita unmute. Anyone?
Nanti kalau lagi bagian speaking harus mau loh.
Ya, kapan lagi latihan speaking langsung sama Bu Hafil?
Anyone wants to tell me why it's far-reaching and not fascinating? I need to know how your mind works.
Anyone?
Why did your brain say it's far-reaching, not fascinating? Anyone? Kayaknya masih pada malu-malu, San.
Coba pakai fitur sini, ada fitur raise hand kalau di Zoom. Tapi here you go.
Abi
and
was
Cory.
Abi
Cory is one of my good advicees. Cory, do you want to unmute yourself?
Cory. Nah, disuruh sama advisernya.
Hai Cory.
Halo Mbak Santika. Hai Ibu Alfi.
is what we call strategy. This is what we call test-taking strategy. You eliminate. You might not be very sure, gitu ya. But what you want to do is you eliminate. You eliminate from the 4 options. You take out 2, which you think is not possible. And when you take out 2, you're left with 2, which of course gives you a better chance, a better probability to get the answer right. Because if you're left with 2, all right, and if you're correct, you get a 50% probability correct, right? So this is what you do. This is one test-taking strategy. Tadi kita cara membidiknya gimana? One of the way is elimination. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm just giving you an idea. This is how it looks. Gitu, sebentar. Alright, ini tadi question, ini masih juga, right? Pokoknya begitu. If you look at highlighted words, it means that it is vocab. And as I said, vocabulary is one of the easiest types of questions. So you should not take time doing this. Nah, ini ada tadi negative facts, right? So you will need to read this and look for what is not there. Ya, okay. And mau coba nggak? Kita coba deh. See, accept. Can we try this one now? Let's try. Okay, I'm just going to. All right. So you are looking for the negative facts, yeah? Negative facts of this, which is not true. This takes a little longer to read, I guess. Okay. So I'll see what happens in 1 minute. So I'm going to have my timer ready here. Some of you have already answered. Okay. All right. This is my timer. Okay. So that's 1 minute. Yeah. So I have answers from Margareta, from Desi, from Dosma, Helen, Ananda. Okay. Fiana, Ansel, Fiana, thank you. And you all answered A. Right? You all answered A. Which was stated? Metal weapons. If you answer A, you're saying that metal weapons increase the power of warriors. Which one is that? Can you tell me in which sentence? Anyone can just put unmute yourself. Metal weapons increase the power of warriors. So which sentence says that? Can anyone who wants to unmute themselves? The third one, Akmal? The third one? Okay. It says that the warrior more powerful. Okay, the third sentence. 1, 2, 3. Are you talking about this? In West Africa, the birthplace, blah, 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 had an important place and with special religious powers and functions. Okay, right? Okay. So you can say that the metal weapons had an important place and often with special religious powers and functions. Okay. Iron tools help increase the food supply. I don't see any food supply di sini. Tapi kok is correct. You don't see the word food supply, right? Okay, thank you, Corey. Thank you, Danny. Thank you. Okay, because it says that it makes the land, right? The iron hose make the land more productive. So you're thinking more productive means, of course, it means it can, of course, increase the food supply. Okay, great. And what about technical knowledge gave religious power to its holders? Which one is that? Gain ritual power. Okay, good, Fania. Thank you. It didn't say anything about religious here, yeah? From the last sentence, right, Sarah? Right. From the last sentence, it's not religious, but here you have the word ritual. So you see that this is what happens. This is what happens. They will use different words. Okay, the questions, what's on the question, the options, right, will be using different words, will be using synonyms, which actually means the same or similar with some of the words on that reading text. And this is the whole idea. This is what you are assessed. Do you understand this or not? Okay, so the answer is A. Itu ya. Created greater social equality. There is nothing here about social equality. It's just political and ritual. All right. And so you want to answer A. So you click A. And if you want to know whether that answer is correct or not, what you can do is just show answer. Okay. So yay, you got the answer correctly. Yeah. But do not do it vice versa. Do not show the answer first and then some of my students go, okay, let's just show answer first, right? Okay, so this is question 6 out of 30, meaning you will have another set of 10 questions for the second passage, test of questions, 10 questions again for the third passage. All right. All right, so this is how it looks like, and this is what the TOEFL iBT will be about. And we're going to go on now, move on. Mari kita move on ke listening. Nah kan, kalau listeningnya seperti apa? So let's just check out the listening practice. Is my screening now changing also? Berubah kan ya? A taste of the listening sedikit ya, 5 menit, and then we finish with this. All right. Hi, San.
Bu.
Are we changing now?
Yes.
Udah? Yeah,
Ini
okay.
sekarang make sure the headset is on.
So because you're in the test center nanti kan, and if
Yes.
you're taking the home edition juga nanti, you're in the you also have to put your headset on, and you will listen. Okay, let's listen.
Listening section directions. The listening section of the TOEFL iBT test measures your ability to understand conversations and lectures in English. In an actual test, the listening section is divided into 2 or 3 separately timed parts. In each part, you will listen to 1 conversation and 1 or 2 lectures. You will hear each conversation and lecture only 1 time. After each conversation or lecture, you will answer some questions about it. Answer the questions based on what is stated or implied by the speakers. In an actual test, a clock that is provided shows you how much time remains. The clock does not count down while you are listening. The clock counts down only while you are answering questions. For this practice test, a useful guideline is to spend no more than 35 seconds to answer a question. You may take notes while you listen. You may use your notes to help you answer the questions. Your notes will not be scored. In some questions, you will see this icon. This means that you will hear but not see part of the question. Some of the questions have special directions. These directions will appear in a gray box on the screen. Most questions are worth 1 point. If a question is worth more than 1 point, it will have special directions that indicate how many points you can receive. You must answer each question. After you answer, select Next. Then select OK to confirm your answer and go on to the next question. After you select OK, you cannot return to the previous questions. You can select Review at any time, and the review screen will show you which questions you have answered correctly or incorrectly and which you have not answered. From this review screen, you can go directly to any question you have already seen in the listening section. Select Continue to go on.
Okay. Now, of course, when you take the real test, you cannot review. All right? Okay.
Listen to a conversation between a student and a professor.
Hi, Professor Mason. Do you have a minute?
A. Ada D. Ada D nih. Ada A sama D. Okay. Why does the man go to see the professor? Hand in a late assignment atau to volunteer to help organize an event? Why did the man A? Not D? Okay. I'm going to go with the majority, so I'll just click A, right? Yeah, click A. Okay, guys. Hello.
Yes, Bu. Semuanya jawab A sih, Bu.
Tapi sekarang. Okay. Oke. Vina. Gotcha, gitu kan ya. Ini kalau kita bilang nih, gotcha, gitu. So yakin ya.
Yakin guys.
Yakin guys, gitu loh. Gini loh, jadi his initial purpose is to hand his assignment. So I thought it was, so I guess it was A. Gitu ya. Why does the man go to see the professor? To volunteer to help. Dia cuma bilang, dia datang. You're not listening. Ini berarti harus listen lagi, ya. Tapi gini. Actually was that he came to see the professor about something we don't know. But then the professor said to him, hey, what did I want to ask you about? Gitu loh. When the professor saw this student, apa ya? Gitu, right? Kamu apa ya? Yang jawab benar dikasih apa? Oh, itu terserah Vina. Oke. Now, ya. Nah, tunggu. Jadi wait. Listen guys. Jadi he came to see a professor. Kita belum tahu loh tadinya dia ngapain ke situ sebenarnya. Tapi si profesor ini said to him, hey, you, gitu kan, misalnya Agus atau siapa, Gus, kenapa ya saya kok jadi ngelihat kamu ingat sesuatu? And then the student said, oh yes, I got, he said, oh yeah, you probably, it's because probably I have not handed my assignment. You said that, kalian terjebak nih, kejebak karena tiba-tiba jadi ngomongin assignment. Gara-gara because the professor melihat, he saw the student, he or she saw the student and said, hey, what is it that I need to ask you ya? Gitu kan. Oh, it's my assignment. That's probably because I haven't handed my assignment. But he did not go to the professor to say that, I want to hand in my late assignment. No. Oke, ini jebakan Batman. Oke. Supaya tidak terjebak oleh Batman, alright? So what you have to do now is, Cory, ya, memang ternyata memang masih chit-chat. Lah iya. So, that's why, and it's quite a long dialogue loh. So, what did the direction say? Take notes. Kalian tadi trap karena tiba-tiba jadi kebawa. Oh iya ya, dia mau ngomongin, dia mau hand in. No. Dia belum bilang mau apa, si profesor udah nabrak. Apa ya saya mau kamu? Oh iya, my assignment, bla 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 bla. Jadi ngomongin assignment. So that is why listen to the first sentence. Tipsnya is always listen to the first few seconds. What is it? Gitu. Karena kalau you pass that, ya udah, nanti akan bingung. Oke. Now, let's go next. Tadi udah nyatet belum? Biasanya anak-anakku tuh suka terus kayak jatuh cinta sama yang bicara gitu ya, Santika sama Vina. Jatuh cinta sama voice sampai terpesona, tapi begitu ditanya, gimana tadi?
Kaget ya.
Kaget. Look, with the IBT, you will have pieces of paper. Akan ada di meja itu pieces of paper. Jangan diplototin. The pieces of paper.
Okay, guys.
Ya, dipakai guys. Itu buat nyatet. Itu one of the big changes in the IBT. You can write notes. Karena in real life, pada saat nanti dengerin profesornya in the university juga pasti kita write notes kan. Jadi nggak mungkin lah orang harus denger semua lecture gitu loh, understand. Oke. Dah, jadi kurang lebih gitu ya. Satu lagi. Kayaknya penasaran. Jangan sampai terjebak.
How did the man learn about Dean Adams's retirement?
Kalau yang ini yakin ya? Yakin nih? He heard other students discussing it. Oke.
Yakin, Bu? Sure.
Yakin, sampai N-nya, sampai banyak tuh N-nya. Oke deh. Yakin ya? Alright, so let's see the answer. Tadi mau jawab apa? C kan? Okay, so let's see the answer. Yay! Okay, this time it's correct. Right? Okay. Dah, I think mau satu lagi kayaknya penasaran. Atau ini kegampangan. Kalau ini sekarang kalau misalnya lecture gimana lecture? Okay, I'm going to go to lectures ya. Kita let's go to lectures. Alright. Nah, saya nextin aja deh.
Why does the professor refuse the man's offer to help with the party?
Okay. Saya exit set saja, ya. Nanti saya masuk lagi nih. Oke, tenang. I'll exit this set. Kenapa dia nggak mau? Oh, saya mesti jawab. Oh, you must select the exact number. Return to the question. Okay. Then show answer. Of course salah. Orang enak-enakan aja kita. Next. Okay. Wait. So I'm just going to exit this and right. Yeah. Now, so we had. Ini kita lewat saja.
Listening section directions. The listening section.
Listen to a conversation between a student and a professor. Listen to part of a lecture in a biology class.
So that's how elephants use infrasound. Now let's talk about the other end of the acoustical spectrum. Sound that's too high for humans to hear. Ultrasound. Ultrasound is used by many animals that detect, and some of them send out, very high frequency sounds. So what's a good example? Yes, Carol?
Well, bats. Since they're all blind, bats have to use sound for, to keep from flying into things.
That's echolocation. Echolocation is pretty self-explanatory, using echoes, reflected sound waves, to locate things. As Carol said, bats use it for navigation and orientation. And what else? Mike?
Well, finding food is always important. And I guess not becoming food for other animals.
Right, on both counts. Avoiding other predators and locating prey, typically insects that fly around at night. Now, before I go on, let me just respond to something Carol was saying. This idea that bats are blind. Actually, there are some species of bats, the ones that don't use echolocation, that do rely on their vision for navigation. But it is true that for many bats, their vision is too weak to count on. Okay, so quick summary of how echolocation works. The bat emits these ultrasonic pulses, very high-pitched sound waves that we can't hear. And then they analyze the echoes, how the waves bounce back. Here, let me finish this diagram I started before class. So the bat sends out these pulses, very focused bursts of sound, and echoes bounce back. You know, I don't think I need to draw on the echoes. Your reading assignment for the next class, it has a diagram that shows this very clearly. So anyway, as I was saying, By analyzing these echoes, the bat can determine, say, if there's a wall in a cave that it needs to avoid, and how far away it is. Another thing it uses ultrasound to detect is the size and shape of objects. For example, one echo they'd quickly identify is the one they associate with a moth, which is common prey for a bat, particularly a moth beating its wings. However, moths happen to have a major advantage over most other insects. They can detect ultrasound. This means that when a bat approaches, the moth can detect the bat's presence, so it has time to escape to safety. Or else they can just remain motionless, since when they stop beating their wings, they'd be much harder for the bat to distinguish from, a leaf or some other object. Now, we've tended to underestimate just how sophisticated the abilities of animals that use ultrasound are. In fact, we kind of assumed that they were filtering a lot out, the way a sophisticated radar system can ignore echoes from stationary objects on the ground. Radar does this to remove ground clutter, information about hills or buildings that it doesn't need. But bats, we thought they were filtering out this kind of information because they simply couldn't analyze it. But it looks as if we were wrong. Recently, there was this experiment with trees and a specific species of bats, a bat called the lesser spear-nosed bat. Now, a tree should be a huge acoustical challenge for a bat, right? I mean, it's got all kinds of surfaces with different shapes and angles. So, well, the echoes from a tree are going to be a mass of chaotic acoustic reflections, right? Not like the echo from a moth. So we thought for a long time that bats stopped their evaluation at simply, that's a tree. Yet it turns out that bats, or at least this particular species, can not only tell that it's a tree, but can also distinguish between, say, a pine tree and a deciduous tree, like a maple or an oak tree, just by their leaves. And when I say leaves, I mean pine needles, too. Any ideas on how it would know that?
Well, like with the moth, could it be their shape?
You're on the right track. It's actually the echo off all the leaves as a whole that matters. Now, think. A pine tree with all those little densely packed needles, those produce a large number of faint reflections in what's called a smooth echo. The waveform is very even. But an oak, which has fewer but bigger leaves with stronger reflections, produces a jagged waveform, or what we call a rough echo. And these bats can distinguish between the two, and not just with trees, but with any echo that comes in a smooth or rough shape.
What is the lecture mainly about?
Okay. That's quite long, by the way. That's quite a long lecture, even though it lasts probably just 4 minutes or so. Yeah. But see how in 4 minutes, you can actually talk a lot, right? Okay. So I hope you have that feeling. If this is very academic because we're talking about bats, right? And if you did not take notes, okay, it would be almost impossible for you to remember everything what the lecturer says, right? You have to take notes, okay? Now, if you did take notes, so what's the answer? B. What is the lecture mainly about? Okay. Show answer? Great. Next question. Just one more question. Okay.
Why does the professor decide not to add more information to the diagram on the board?
Come on. D, C again. We have like D and C. We have D versus C. the additional information is not relevant to the topic that she wants. Nah, ada A juga. Ada B juga. Seru nih. Okay. All right. So, again, you have to take notes. If you take notes, there is a bigger possibility that you will get the question, all right, the answer right. Jadi mau ikut yang mana? A, B, or C? Ya, kita cobain aja satu-satu ya, guys. Misalnya A, benar nggak? Salah kan? So D, okay. I think most of you answered C, ada A, ya. It's even. Students already have the additional information in their textbook. Nah, okay, ya sudah. Artinya apa? Ini kan hanya icip-icip, but anyway, just to give you a taste, ya, and to give you a feeling on what you need. What I need you to do is do this so that you will see, I would like you now to reflect. Jadi mesti gimana ya belajarnya ya? Itu kan, mesti seperti apa ya belajarnya? What do we need to do? Gitu. Ya, apa yang harus kita lakukan? Nah, mungkin kita ada pertanyaan yang harus dijawab. Anyone would like to ask the questions? Okay, go ahead. Santika, udah ada yang jawab di ini belum? Ada yang nanya di ini nggak, Santika?
Ya, Bu. Ada pertanyaan. Jadi kita tuh ada, let's see. Aku tadi udah kumpulin the questions. We have like 4 questions from Zoom semua. So ini aku coba bacain buat Bu Hafil ya.
Yep.
So all of them are mostly technical. Jadi kayak lebih nanyain skor dan segala macam. Ini dari S. Dahana di Zoom. Is there any maximum attempt on taking the test to be considered in my best score calculation? Jadi ada maksimum berapa kali limit supaya bisa pakai best score ini, Bu Hafil?
I don't think so because that you have to check ya. Santika harus bantu cek dengan the university.
Yeah, so what I usually do is you just go to ETS. Tadi kayak Ibu Hafil bilang dari awal, kayak kalau untuk si best score ini, the complete explanation tuh biasa semua di ETS pasti ada. So if you cannot find it, kamu bisa nyari aku. I will try my best to find the details for you. Okay? Terus nextnya dari Desi di Zoom juga. I have registered for a TOEFL iBT test on 24th October. But we had another PSBB ongoing, so is my test will stay the same or change into from home? Kalau dari aku, jawaban aku sih sebenarnya kamu harusnya cek email kamu if they send you any email on maybe asking you to reschedule or that the test center needs to be changed or anything. Jadi semua orang yang udah beli tes TOEFL iBT, udah register for the test upcoming, you have to very keen on keep updating on your email. Karena kalau ada apa-apa biasa di email, bener gak Bu?
Dan cek juga di website ya, because as I said the ETS website itu kan ada mengenai test center. Nah kamu cek, jadi misalnya kamu sudah di test center yang mana, you have to check whether it is mereka masih open atau tidak, karena tidak semua test center tutup dengan masa PSBB ini. Oke.
Dan biasa kayak ada kayak bubble sendiri kok dia bedain warnanya dan kelihatan banget sih. So,
Kalau ada update terakhir, right? Okay.
So, jadi itu untuk menjawab pertanyaan kamu, will it stay the same or to be changed into from home, itu tergantung. Jadi kamu harus cek lagi ya. Coba login aja ke your account juga, karena setahu aku biasa kalau kita login kan ada tuh upcoming test tuh. Nah, biasa mungkin ada notification di situ, if it makes sense.
Ada pop-up, semacam pop-up.
Kalau ada apa-apa on your upcoming test, harusnya kan di-inform juga di situ. Okay, so next question, ini dari Cory. Bu Hafil, if we take TOEFL iBT with home edition, is it true that we should take it in a really silent condition? I believe around my house is really noisy. Do you have any advice, Bu? My friend said to take it between 1 until 5 a.m. So she said, sorry for the silly question, Bu, but I actually need to retake the TOEFL iBT before December 20th.
I see.
But the test center are closed gitu.
Oke. Oh, test center udah pasti tutup ya, test centernya yang tempatnya Korea. Oke, so gini loh, itu depends on you. Because in the test center, when you are in the test center kan Kori kalau sudah pernah mengalami di test center juga it's never silent, ya kan? Karena kita juga nggak bisa benar-benar 2 meter gitu jaraknya, malah justru dengan PSBB ini malah dengan social distancing kali malah bisa tenang malah. Karena biasanya memang kita hanya berjarak misalnya 1 meter, the less than 1 meter, maksudnya our table ada penyekat gitu kan, and then the other person is already sitting there. And usually especially for the speaking itu pasti my student itu pasti dia kayak, aduh padahal udah pakai special headset nih, sudah pakai headphone yang ceritanya reduce noise gitu ya, ketika minimize noise, tetap aja akan terdengar teman-temannya berbicara. Jadi one of the things, jadi Kori sebetulnya nggak perlu banget, dan itu tergantung dirimu. Dalam arti kata, are you terganggu nggak gitu loh dengan noises, right? Saya harus bilang sama student saya kadang-kadang, kamu kalau lagi latihan listening gitu ya, kamu biasain di cafe, kadang-kadang saya sampai begitu, yang ada noise, karena kamu juga nanti di test center juga akan mendengar noises gitu loh.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Corey. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I think it helps kayak giving her tips on kayak what to expect gitu. Jadi kayak dia bisa anticipate. And another thing that I want to share dulu pas aku tes TOEFL iBT, aku inget banget kayak kan kita pakai headphone like Bu Hafil said kan. Tapi it does not change the fact that kalau semua orang di dalam satu ruangan, semua orang yang tes let's say 20 to 30 ya Bu. They all typing kan, kita fasenya sama kan. Kalau semuanya fase writing ya semuanya jadi writing. So when you're typing and everyone else is typing, and kalau dikumulasikan dikali 20 atau 30 student in the whole room, suara ketik itu luar biasa. Jadi kayak your headphone itu cuma kayak pajangan aja sih, to be honest. So you have to be able to focus bener-bener kayak look at your screen, type what you want to type, terus pas listening juga do the same. But yeah, practice with some noise, maybe that will help you adapt. Jadi kayak nggak kaget kalau tiba-tiba ada yang ngomong, jadi kamu nggak kaget. So yeah, thank you Bu Hafil for the tips. I hope that answers Cory's question. But again, Cory, kalau untuk yang kayak home edition, kamu harus cek, karena kemarin pas aku lihat di website-nya, I think they're very specific. They want your laptop or your computer to have this specific software, kayak udah updated keberapa, terus kayak ada lah speknya yang harus kamu penuhi. Terus mungkin ada directions-nya juga, mungkin harus ruangan yang seperti apa, dan gimana, kayak mungkin orang nggak boleh lewat sama sekali dari belakang kamu, even if they did not like talk to you or make contact with you like eye contact gitu, but you have to check really closely on kayak requirement-nya apa aja, kayak restrictions-nya apa aja before you take the home edition. Okay, so next question, I think last question sih Bu. Let me check. Oh, we have more questions now that we have Q&A. Ini dari Majedah Ulfa di Zoom juga. So if I take TOEFL iBT Home Edition, I will have speaking and writing test online too. And what about the results? Are we going to have it emailed too? So I think kita tes in center sama Home Edition, maksudnya kayak kita tes di center aja, hasilnya kan udah online ya Bu ya. And we send the result as we want. Kayak misalnya aku mau order result dikirim ke uni A atau B atau C, from your ETS account juga, TOEFL account kamu di ets.org. Jadi I think home edition should be the same ya Bu ya?
Yes, the same.
Okay. So yeah, jadi sama aja, tetap online. So of course if home edition you do all of the tests online from home. Yeah. That includes the speaking and everything. Ya Bu ya.
Even if you were not doing it at home, you will be emailed, right? Your result. Nah, itu sekarang juga Santika, it's faster now. It used to be like you had to wait like 2 weeks or whatever, yeah, for the result. Now within 6 days, you will get an email.
That's nice. Karena dulu kita selalu suggest, I always suggest the advice kayak you don't want to take it too last minute because 2 weeks. Untuk result, and then another, I think, week or 10 days buat the result that you sent sampai to the campus. So you don't want to risk like the deadline udah lewat sehari terus kayak baru nyampe.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
But now it's what, 6 days ya Bu?
6 days.
That's really nice.
Itu sudah terbukti because my students who had to take it benar-benar dia di hari ke-6 dia udah dapet gitu hasilnya, right?
And that's like the official result that you can order to send the result ya. Oke. Jadi itu berlaku.
You can order send the result juga kalau misalnya you're applying to a university, for example. Jadi bisa juga si ITS kirim copy to the university of your choice. Bisa juga begitu. Oke.
So iya, jadi tuh home edition sama yang in center sama ya Bu, 6 hari ya sekarang ya?
Yeah.
Alright, thank you, that's amazing. So I think this is like the last question and we only have 7 minutes left. Time really flies. So Desi nanya, can you give us a strategy to take notes, Bu?
Gimana?
Strategy to take notes.
Oh ya, itu nanti.
Itu nanti ya. Oke, berarti Desi, you have to come again next week dan everyone else. You have to come again next week karena besok
Dani
next week.
juga tanya tuh. Dani tanya, there are a lot of books. Iya. Nah mungkin ini juga penting. Buku yang gini loh, buku itu banyak, right? But what is more important is you make kan practice testnya yang penting. Gitu loh ya. Jadi setiap buku itu pasti yang kalian cari juga bukan pembelajarannya saja tapi praktisnya kan, practice testnya.
Exactly.
Now, you have kalau bisi buku di depannya ada ITS, ada lambangnya ITS saja. Padahal bukunya dari Oxford University Press, dari Cambridge University Press, dari Macmillan. Itu artinya apa? Itu soal yang ada di situ adalah soal yang dibuat oleh ITS. Gitu. Jadi carilah buku yang memang ada ITS-nya, berarti soal-soal di situ dari ITS. Please go to ITS website karena di situ dia udah kasih tahu ada official guide-nya segala macam. Oke?
Right. So di At America, if you guys ever been to At America before, kita kan ada bookshelf tuh. We have some books on TOEFL, on IELTS, GMAT, GRE. So what I can do maybe next session during the Q&A like this with Bu Hafil, maybe I can like grab that and show you guys the books that we have here. Jadi kalian bisa ada guidance on maybe if you want to buy books. But yang crucial menurut Bu Hafil dan menurut aku sama Vina as advisors is the practice test. So you sebenarnya kalau kita bilang belajar efektif itu harus dari mana, kayak dari buku kayak atau online yang efektif yang mana, itu only you will know because learning style orang beda-beda. Jadi ada yang pakai buku aja udah cukup, ada yang harus benar-benar practice test kayak apa ya, kayak as if you are doing the real test, makin sering kamu bakal makin ngerti gitu, bakal makin familiar. And that's the common strategy for any standardized test is to familiarize yourself with the test, like the template, the types of questions, the tips and tricks itu makin sering kamu practice, makin oke. Right, Ibu?
Yep.
Oke. So, Ibu bisa kasih sedikit teaser next week bakal ngomongin apa?
Oh iya, kan tadi teasernya is because the integrated skill ya. Karena kan yang paling seru itu saya pikir serunya sih because listening, tadi kan listening, speaking ya udahlah. Listening, writing, reading. Tapi nanti untuk writing is not just you are given a topic terus disuruh nulis. Ada nanti nulis berdasarkan apa, based on what you hear and based on what you read. Lah katanya nulis, ya tapi
exactly.
Based on your listening and your reading. Makanya saya pas lihat iBT kayak gitu, ini seru banget ya ini tes gitu. Capek sih, tapi capeknya karena seru banget mesti ngerjain ini, ngerjain itu. Nggak mungkin ngantuk aja ngerjain itu tes pokoknya. Right?
And it's designed that way ya Bu, nggak mungkin kan kayak kalau tesnya membosankan orang bisa ketiduran ya, bahaya banget.
Iya. Karena
berapa gitu. So, okay guys.
So we'll talk more about it next week. Okay, thank you Mas Santika. Thank you everybody.
Thank you Bu Hafil. So, okay everyone, stay tuned next week. Jadi tanggal 10 jam 2 sampai jam 4. If you haven't register yourself and put a reminder or anything that make sure you don't miss this. Because as you know, Ibu Hafil is official facilitator yang udah di-approve sama ITS, so she knows what she's talking about. And if you join this one, you feel like it's helpful, so you need more. Okay, kita ada 3 kali, so next week, next Saturday sama next Saturday-nya lagi. All right, so I'll see you guys next week. If you need anything, like your study plan to US, feel free to reach out to Education USA. You know where to find us on our website as well. So that's a wrap this week. Thank you, everyone. See you next week. I'll give it back to America team. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Santika, and also thank you, Ibu Hafilia, for sharing the great session today with America TV about introductions to TOEFL IBT. And so, guys, back again with me, Fifi. Earlier in the event, I asked you guys a question for today's event, and the question is, true or false, the TOEFL IBT test is administered in more than 130 countries? And the answer is true. The TOEFL IBT test is administered in more than 130 countries via the internet and offered over 30 times a year at authorized test and center worldwide. So congratulations to Dani Irfandi from Zoom for answering correctly. Congratulations, Dani. And to all of you guys, thank you for participating. Don't forget to tune in again next time and get a chance to get a shout out from us. And now you may be wondering, how can you develop an awesome idea for a place like this? Don't worry, it's a simple thing. Just go to our website at www.atamerica.or.id. Go to collaborate with us and create an event. All event proposals coming to us will be reviewed and your event might feature here soon. Okay, don't forget to follow our social media account. We have our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at ATAmerica. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in today. Don't forget to tune in back again on our second session next week. So see you guys at the next America event. Bye.